Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. Yes, today I'm taking a look at my so-called shortlist. Yeah, I think it's over 40 titles right now, which are on my list. I went through this several times and maybe new stuff has been added since the last time I went through this. So this may not be the ultimate final version of my list. So next week is already Essen SPIEL. I will be there on Thursday. So if you want to meet up, just let me know. And yeah, today's video is basically to walk you through my little list here. I already pre-filtered it. Hopefully I did everything correctly, so it should be must-have and interest. I'm not sure if I actually classified anything as must-have, but yeah, we will see about that. One other caveat, this list does not contain any sort of demos. Only a very, so I have already correct myself, only a very few of those are actually demos. These are really the games I'm super interested. I really wanted to see what they look like. But yeah, if you see something, or if you see something that is missing and you should say, yes, you should definitely check that out, Marcus. So definitely let me know and I will consider that accordingly. I also prepared a cheat sheet for me a little bit so I'm not forgetting, because yeah, for the most part, I believe I know what these games are. In some cases, not so much, but that's why I put together. So if you ever see me reading something here, that's my little cheat sheet here. So yeah, let's dive into that. And the very first one, actually, and this is not really, I think this is the standard ordering here. I think it's sorted by the publisher, if I remember correctly, but whatever. So the sorting order is really not showing any sort of priority or whatever. So Dungeons of Doria. It's basically a dungeon crawler, from what I understood. It's somewhat of a low-cost dungeon crawler, so I'm always interested and intrigued seeing a dungeon crawler. I know this is an expansion for the game Dungeons of Doria. I didn't really play it yet. I have it on my radar for quite a while, but that's why I said maybe with the expansion, go check it out, and maybe I will get it to me, get myself a copy. Jakarta Traffic, yeah, that's basically more of a family thing. My wife, she is from Indonesia actually, and that's why I'm always looking out for titles from her game. Yes, we do own Indonesia, the game. I'm not sure if I ever played it with her. Not entirely my kind of game, but I believe, but at least I want to check it out. And yeah, maybe, yeah, if it's somewhat thematic, of a thematic fit, then I will definitely grab it. Yes, Ra, Sun God Edition. I do own Ra. I do own a version of Ra, not the latest one, and also not the original 21st Century Games version, because I believe when the Kickstarter or GameFound was released, it wasn't, due to rights reasons, wasn't allowed to be sold here, at least in Germany. Maybe some other countries in Europe as well. Yes, I could have got a copy, but in the end, I went for a different version. But now, yeah, it's here with the acrylic version. Definitely, it's one of my favorite Reiner Knizia games, and I believe it's really by far my most favorite auction game. It's really an auction game that works very well at all player counts, also with 2 actually. So that's why I may want to check it out. There is no real price point in here, not sure actually, but I will go check it out. Yeah, the Druids of Edoram, it's a Stefan Feld game, so I think there's enough to be said. I think it has some Bonfire vibes, and mechanically I really do like Bonfire, but the theme really didn't appeal to me at all. I think I did cover Bonfire on my channel actually, but yeah, I will absolutely go check it out. I mean, yeah, it's Stefan Feld, and as you may know, he's one of my favorite designers. Merchants of Andromeda. Yeah, it's basically another auction game. It's another auction game by Reiner Knizia, and it has a nice, I would say, yeah, space theme to it. So yeah, I will absolutely, I'm intrigued by this. So this is what would be one of my maybe insta buys here. Bantam Planet, or Bantam West basically. I'm not sure why there isn't an image. The last time I checked, I'm relatively certain there was an image, and it says demo, and I believe the last time I checked it wasn't a demo, because last year I went by their booth and I was surprised that in theory the game is out. Believe they didn't get the copies in time, but you could then basically buy that and they would ship it to you relatively soon after that. Yes, it's basically a Western themed game. I love Western legends, obviously, so I really want to give this one a try. So maybe I will get a copy. But now, as it says demo, not quite sure actually what happened here. Silos, that's another Rainer Knizia game. He seems to be very busy these years, like always, all years actually. And yeah, it's not an auction game, I believe, but the theme really does appeal to me. And yeah, there was this game from Flying Frog, which I really do like actually. And yeah, being aliens, adopting cows and humans, absolutely my kind of game. Yeah, absolutely on my list here. Era of Tribes, that's, I believe, kind of a dudes on a map. I have a very cool gaming group where I can play these kind of games, and I have the first edition on my radar for quite a while. But then I learned, hey, there is a second edition coming out, and there is also the expansion down here. And with this other gaming group, I'm really playing a lot of games like FIFA, for example. That's our really go-to game. And I'm relatively certain that this could be a game for this group. And I think, yeah, with the expansion, you can even play it up to 6 players. Absolutely something to check out. Yeah, Ants is something I was thematically on relatively high on my list. So I do own Merms. I do own, what was it called? The March of the Ants. I have the first edition, actually. No, there was a second edition, definitive edition, or whatever they call it now. So I really like the theme. I did check out some of the mechanics. I believe I watched briefly a video by Paul Grogan. I love his channel, obviously. But then I wasn't too sold on the game itself. It looked nice, but for whatever reason, I don't know if I need it. Convince me otherwise, but it's still on my list, so I will check it out for sure. Tipping Point, or Earth 2053 Tipping Point. Yes. I mean, obviously, this is, I believe, at least flying on the waves like, what was it, Daybreak, of course, Kennerspiel des Jahres. Daybreak really fell flat for me. There were a lot of issues with not the rules, but with some of the cards, with the components, and in the end, it was too much alpha gamer prone for my taste. Everyone could do everything at all times. The cards were visible, and usually that's what I don't like about these kind of cooperative games. But still, I like the theme, and I think it's an important theme. It's really, really important. That's why I think I'm intrigued. I will check it out, but again, it really has to do something much better than what Daybreak did to me, actually. Deckers, yes, obviously. Richard Wilkins, aka Ricky. That's basically, I think, a reprint of his original Renegade, which I covered multiple times on my channel because A, Ricky is a great guy, and B, the game is really, really fun. Absolutely cleverly designed, a super brain burner actually, and I really want to check it out. I'm not sure if they did really something dramatically different to the original Renegade. Yeah, there might be some look and feel things, but yeah, I will absolutely check it out. And yeah, Pegasus, 35 euros. And I'm really glad for Ricky and for the community that this game hopefully gets a wider audience now. Nice, let's move on. Horses, Epona. Yeah, Vladimir Suchi. I mean, that explains it all. My daughter is into horses. I'm into Vladimir Suchi. Okay, that sounds wrong on so many levels, but no, as a designer, I really like his work. Obviously, I checked it out. It looks relatively, compared to some of his other games, a little bit lighter, but that's not a bad thing. So yeah, I'm relatively certain that this is one of the games I will come back with, and maybe then also cover it on the channel if you are interested. Transgalactica, I'm still on my first page here. Yeah, that's, I believe, the big release for Devir this year. Yes, Daniele Tascini. I mean, what else do you need? It's a cool theme. And it looks cool. Recently, I'm not so much into these super heavy Euros anymore. Yes, I play them, so if they come to the channel, there was this Galactic Crusade, I believe, or this shipping thing, which I recently played. I really enjoyed it. It's cool to play these games. They look nice, but for the most reasons, they are not interactive enough. So relatively recently, I'm really a big fan of, games that you play together, not multiplayer solo games. And not sure if this does anything differently. I'm almost certain it might be sold out already in Essen or so. That's typically what happens to these DVR games, to the big ones. But yeah, I will have a look at it, and then I will make a judgment call when I see that. And of course, then we're already at DLP Games. It's a small publisher here in Germany. They released a lot of favorite games for me. Oleon is one of my, I think, ultimate top 10 games, and they typically release new content every year. These are new location cards here, so I will obviously get those. So these are must-haves indeed. I did check it out. Similarly, Pirates of Maracaibo, the Bermuda Triangle. I love Pirates of Maracaibo. If you would ask me, I'm always prefer the Big Brother, the Maracaibo game, which I typically play at least twice, 3 times a year, try to bring it on the table. Pirates of Maracaibo has some similarities in respect to some of the components that you see, but then on its own, it's a game. It's a much shorter game. I did play the expansion also multiple times already, the first one. So again, for me, this is basically a no-brainer. It's Alexander Pfister. He's also, I think also, I really like him a lot. He does a lot of things right. Hercules and the 12 Labors. This is also a demo, apparently, and now I'm not sure if this was a demo before, if they changed it recently. It's on the list because, as you know, on my channel I used to cover a lot of these true solo games, and this I think could be a perfect fit for my channel actually, and it looks nice enough actually, so that's why it's on this list. If it's a demo, I might still run by the booth. Maybe I will get a preview copy or so if I ask nicely. Let's see about that. Federation, the Piracy expansion. I really do like Federation. I played this multiple times, and I think adding more to this, even though it's already not a complex game or a complicated game, but there are a lot of decisions to make and a lot of tough decisions to make. And the base game already has a lot of replayability depending on how a lot of these components come out. But maybe, more dilemmas and asymmetric choices. I mean, this can't be a bad thing in the end. So I'm pretty sure that this might be a game I might be getting. Mini Dungeons, the Mines and the Towers. I looked at this the other day. Take on unique challenges and ever-changing missions in the Mines and Towers. And I believe I'm already on my second page, actually. I'm not sure. So far, I'm doing good. Okay, at least I hope. And it's also a dungeon crawler. Apparently you can play this cooperatively as well, but that's, again, one of these games which I can really nicely cover on my channel. That's why it's on this list. Galaxy Postman. Also a game that's on my list, my radar, since quite a while. I do like pickup and delivery games. I believe it's some kind of a pickup and delivery game, at least all the footage I have seen so far. I'm not sure if this can ever replace Merchants of Venus for me, which from this genre is my absolute favorite. I also do like Sire, right? I mean, I also covered this on the channel. But then again, this also comes with a solo mode and a ton of expansion. The solo mode in the second edition of Merchants of Venus really isn't a lot of fun, actually. That's why maybe I give this a try. That's why it's my list. Again, I like pickup and delivery games, nice theme in space, so I think it could work. Similo, yes, of course, I own a lot of Similo stuff. Not sure if you can see that actually here. We play that with the family quite a bit, so obviously I will go for the aquatic animals. And so far we never really mixed and matched these decks, but again, at some point in time when you play a Similo game often enough without mixing the decks, basically, a lot of these hints are getting obvious, but that's why you can mix and match these decks. So you take one deck, for example, for the clue giver, basically, and the other deck is the actual things that you have to guess in the end. But that's for my collection. Similarly, the board games edition, which you typically get for free when you buy something there. Last year, I got it too. I have it. The board games edition is something which you can only play with co-gamers, actually. honest, they're typically busy. They look awesome, these cards, but it's really tough if you don't really know a lot of board games or a lot of the current board games that are covering there on these in this edition here. Then it's more of a party gag. Actually, I did play it once actually with some actual gamers. This is the last year similar board game edition, but I think really playing similar, I typically go back to a standard release, whatever it is. Ice Makes and Epoch's Course of Cultures. Yes, I mean, it's a Civ game that's designed by Jeffrey, who also designed, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, CCH? Yeah, sorry for my ignorance here, but he designed Age of Civilization, and this is really an amazing game in a small box. I did cover the solo mode on the channel as well. This is really the perfect filler game if you really want to play a Civ game after a long game and you only have, I don't know, about 45 minutes or so. It's so cool. But this seems to be a full-blown game, and yeah, I think this could be one of my, also let's call it insta-buys at Essen. Fear of the Dark by Interhuman, the Croatian English German edition. That's an interesting mixture of languages here, inspired by one of the basic fears. Not only is this a great song by one of my favorite bands, Iron Maiden, it's also one of these solo games which I think I can cover quite well on the channel. That's why on its list, and this is, I believe, one of those games which I try to get. So that's why I'm not spending more time on it. You will see it on the channel one way or the other. And then we are at Ion Game Designs with PAX Hispanica, Phil Eklund. I believe he demoed the game last year. I saw him in Essen, and because he's such a great guy, such a nice guy to talk to, and he's always wearing these costumes that are in line with the theme that he's presenting. So when did he do this? What was it? The Neanderthal. He was wearing this Neanderthal outfit. It was really great. And last year he also wore a matching costume here. I mean, this is really, I mean, yeah, it's a PAX game, which, yeah, I played my fair share of PAX games. Typically, they don't completely tick for me, but then it's pirates, and yeah, when you know my channel, I'm really into these pirate-themed games actually, and yeah, pirates with PAX, that's something I may want to try out. Then we're already at the One Card Dungeon Adventure Packs. I know about One Card Dungeon. I never played it myself. I didn't cover it on the channel. But again, this is one of those games perfect for my channel. And if they have whatever, some kind of a combo where you can buy all these kind of things together, I might end up with buying them all. Okay, we are already on show more. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Nemo's War. I'm pretty sure this is not really a competitor, an actual one, but again, Nemo's War is something that's typically a solo game. Yes, there are rules where you can play this cooperatively. Don't feel like it's, I think with 2 players you can play Nemo's War, but again, you really need a lot of preparations. The rules are very, very sophisticated, and I think this is something, it plays in apparently 45 minutes, up to 1 to 5 players, flip and write. I mean, it's a really cool theme. I like Jules Verne and some of his novels here, this one absolutely. So I think this is also one of those which I may getting myself a copy if I get one. Adamastor was, again, yeah, exactly. That was also a nautical game which also a solo game. I think it's not necessarily pirate themed per se, but I also do like the movie Master and Commander, for example. So Russell Crowe really shined in this one, actually. And I think it's not really Master and Commander, the board game. I mean, yeah, Growing Drow Must Test You Grew. I think it's more like survival game to some extent, to some exploration, but theme really appeals to me. It's a solo game, so yeah, I will really try to get myself a copy. The Hobbit, there and back again. Me and my family, we really do love everything about the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, and everything. So I think in this case, it's Rainer Knizia design. So I think enough said. Yeah, really, Rainer Knizia is doing a lot these years. So yeah, I really hope to get a copy, but sooner or later it will get published here anyway. And then, yeah, I think this is one of these demo games, Aventuria, Chalices of Power, I believe, is the English title for this. I absolutely love Aventuria, the card, the board game. I used to play Das Schwarze Auge, the Dark Eye, back in my youth. Really hours and hours and hours with a gaming group, and when they released Aventuria originally, I was completely sold to that. The first let's say, release had some issues with the rules, but in the meantime they have fixed them all, and this is now where they are trying to, let's call it, somewhat reboot all that thing with a really campaign around that. So with Aventuria, this was really this big sandbox. Yes, they had some expansion which also tried some more overarching storylines and how to develop your heroes, for example, but it always felt tacked on. I still love it for what it is, the sandbox experience. So I really love to play a random scenario, whatever. Sometimes it takes a while to play these, especially if you do a scenario with, I don't know, 3 fights, for example. That's really a full evening game then. But yeah, really getting this back now as some more of a holistic package in respect to the campaign. Yeah, I can't get it. I backed it. I think it was a game found, but this is really one of the games which I do want to check out to see how it does. And then we're already at Piff Games and Captain's Log. I'm running a playthrough of the base game right now. So I just published the first episode and I'm really surprised that a lot of you are absolutely digging this. I got a ton of good comments, a lot of views on this, so I will definitely keep playing this. But yeah, with that being said, I will also check out the expansion. I believe there was another expansion already, which you can, I believe, late bag. I may have to even check that out. But yeah, there's simply more. Not sure if it's really more of the same. I haven't looked at it in detail. That's why I'm checking it out in Essen. It's definitely on my list. Then we are at R&D games, of course, Richard Breeze and Keyflower. Keyflower is, I believe, Ifara is my #1 auction game. I believe Keyflower might be my #2 on the list. This is really one of these auction games that also appeal to gamers who typically don't like auction games, because yeah, the auction is a mechanic, but it's completely different, right? You're bidding with your meeples in the end and so on. And yeah, I typically try to get all the promos that are released year over year. Not sure if they do that every year, but at least I remember last year I also got a bunch of those. That's why they're on this list. Then we are Skellig Games 5 Family. So I also typically end up buying at least one Friedemann Friese game in Essen. I can't remember which one it was last year, but keep me honest here. This year it might be 5 Families. I mean, it's basically Friedemann Friese. It's a cool theme. I mean, I'm all into Sopranos and whatever. So though these mafia kind of games and series and whatnot. It's not released by SPIEL Spiele, but I might still get a copy there anyway of 5 Families. I haven't really looked into much detail for now, and will do a little bit more reading before I go to Essen next week, actually. But I believe this is one of the games which I might get one way or the other. Synchronite Foundation, what was this? Yes, exactly. I believe I mentioned that I have this gaming group where I play these games like FIFA, for example, and this seems to be the essence of these kind of player interaction and conflict and whatever. So I'm really intrigued by this game. Yes, it comes with a steep price point here, but this could be really one of the games we might be actually enjoying. I'm not sure if I will insta-buy this in Essen. And it seems, yeah, with the expansion, you might get a solo mode in there. So yeah, maybe it's something I might be getting. And if you ever have been to Essen, you typically reach a point where you say, either, I didn't really buy an awful lot yet and there is still room, I still crave for something, and this game could exactly fill this niche. If I'm in doubt and say, yeah, I have some money left and I don't feel like I have already more or less overloaded the trunk of my car, I guess this would be one of the games to get, and there's a ton of expansion actually for it. Rise of Myth Cthulhu. What was this actually? I think this needs to be on my last one. I think we're already through actually. Deck building, it's cooperative, and it's HP Lovecraft. These are the things I put on my table, and now again I see demo. Either I really didn't realize this or it changed. I'm pretty sure with one or two of the other entries something changed in the meantime. For here I'm not so sure about, but yeah, I mean, I really love deck building games. I mean, Legendary being my most favorite system, and Dune Imperium, for example, game like this. And getting this now into the world of Cthulhu, I'm really craving for this Legendary Cthulhu box at some point in time. I'm not sure why they're not doing this, because there are no rights to be paid off, as far as I understood, with H.P. Lovecraft, so they can really do a ton of stuff with this. But until then, I might check out Rise of Myth, and I believe that's indeed already it. So it went much smoother and much faster than I originally anticipated, and I really hope nothing went wrong with the recording. At least all the lights are still showing here. So yeah, as I said, let me know if you think there are games which I should check out, and also let me know what I should cover. The problem with this year's Essen Spiel, like last year's, there is no all-time available press room anymore. So the years before, there was always this novelty show where you could really get a close look at all the new, or for the most part, of the new games that were released at this year's Essen Spiel. With last year, they basically abandoned that. They only do that on a Wednesday now, and only for a couple of hours, I think until 5 p.m. and then they pretty much put everything away. I don't know why they do that. Could be that they're, whatever, saving some bucks. Whatever, not getting an extra room. Maybe they're running out of room. I don't know. But that's really a pity. I used to do these novelty show walkthroughs basically year over year. But now, also, let me know what you want me to cover. I think I might be doing some sort of a normal walkthrough of the halls, maybe sometimes, maybe not the full fair, but maybe through one or two of the bigger halls, maybe, to see how they feel. And then, of course, once I'm back, I will also be doing or showing you some of the loot I brought back from Essen Spiel. But again, let me know if you think something is missing on this list. I will definitely check it out and maybe put it on my list. And also, if you want to meet, if you happen to be in Essen and want to shake hands, I'm always there, always approachable if you see me. I should be wearing my t-shirt, I believe. Is you're missing me. Yeah, and that's basically my short list. I'm pretty sure it's relatively short. I already have seen lists that are much longer than mine here. But again, I have to focus. I will stumble upon one or two extra things during Essen, which I didn't have on my radar, and will bring it back anyway, or we'll check it out. But at least these are the ones that are currently on my radar, and these are the ones that go into the app relatively soon. So yeah, hopefully you did somewhat enjoy this. Again, reach out, let me know what you think, and yeah, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.